Let's return to This Week in America. Here's your host, Rick Bratton.
Welcome back, everybody. Coast to Coast, This Week in America. As a child, Maria Luisa J. Edwards wanted to be a missionary. It held an indescribable allure for her, an intrinsic pull that was aching to spread the good news of Jesus. In the pages of her book, The Love and Power of God, you will join her as she embarks on a personal and spiritually challenging journey to the jungles of Ecuador. The book is a collection of stories and her experiences as a missionary for 17 years. She deals with her work among the indigenous people faced with poverty, oppression, violence, and diseases, written in a personal and engaging style with a lot of humor, emotion, and wisdom. Maria Luisa J. Edwards, author of The Love and Power of God, Missionary Experiences in the Jungles of Ecuador, is our guest on This Week in America. Maria, welcome to the program. Pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk.
I am very grateful that I'm here and I can listen to you because you are a very important person.
Well, you are an important person. The work that you've done for all of the years and the great story you tell in your book, The Love and Power of God. Let's start with the enthusiasm. You always wanted to be a missionary. There comes a point when you needed to turn this over to the people that you worked with, that you trained. What was that like when you decided, I have these groups, they're in place, I'm going to turn this over to them now? How difficult was that for you?
First of all, the reason why I decided to be a missionary is because my parents had a priest in our house because they didn't have a house for the priest. So I saw the priest and I saw what he was doing with people. That's when I decided I was going to be a missionary when I grew up. So I forgot about the next question.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting where it began. I was talking a little bit about you worked with different groups, and we'll talk about the structure of what you did. And because of your health, it was time for you to turn things over, and you felt confident turning them over because you had worked with them.
Well, since I became a sister because I thought that would be the best, safer things to do. Became part of the religious sisters, but they were not missionaries. So I had, with the bishop's help, I had to get out of it and went on my own. And that's what the book is all about. When I went to the people and trained them, because I got in touch with liberation theology, which is to start poor with the poor. You become one with them, and then you don't go and pour the wisdom and pour the Bible and pour everything you know, but you start from where they are at. And from there, you develop and let them know that you are ready to whenever they want to, and they will want to get a little bit more. And that's what I did. And in every community I had to take care of 13 communities. And every one of them, well, first of all, I thought I was poor, but then when I went to see them and live like them, I realized I have no clue what poor is. So poor is really, they had nothing. They slept on the floor, on the dirt. The children had no clothes. It was quite an experience. It was eye-opening to see that, oh my goodness, here I was thinking I was poor, but no, I wasn't poor at all.
Well, in comparison, yes, and it's eye-opening for us as the reader, as we're reading Maria's story, the love and power of God, missionary experiences in the jungles of Ecuador, the story of 17 years and what she had to go through. What was among the hardest or difficult things that you had to do to be able to evangelize there? What was most difficult for you? Adjustments, maybe.
The most difficult was that when the bishop asked me to train young women to be sisters, to be leaders of the community, and to continue doing evangelization in the different communities. The danger as women that we went through, it was terrible. I can tell you one of the cases that I think it is in the book, that this lady came just crying and telling me she just had a horrible experience. This guy came and put her down and got his pants off, and he wanted to have sex with her, and she didn't want, and she put her arms behind her and pulled herself from the weeds and keep pulling and pulling and pulling till the time that the guy got so tired that he gave up and hit her and went. And there was a little child with her, a 5-year-old, that he was biting the guy's leg. But that was all she had, help, but there is no help around. It was terrible. It was terrible. So that was one of the things that I was concerned about, the sisters I was taking care of and training them to be leaders in the communities. And the most important thing was to make the community like a family, very strong, that will take care of each other. And they did. We had so many cases, my goodness, so many cases in which the women were strong, because before they were just waiting that the men will protect them, the men will do this, that, and the other thing. And because of liberation theology, no, we have to do our own, taking care of ourselves. And there we went. And as women, with a group of women, we went to the governor to see that some things needed to change. We went to any authority there was that will hear us. And of course, when we went to the governor, we told him that we have gone to the other authorities in the town, but they don't pay attention to us. So the governor knew my father. My father was a policeman, and that made a big difference. So when I told him my father is Julio Cesar Jimenez, and then things kind of changed, and he really decided to help us. And he helped us to put some order and to put some discipline and start really paying attention to the small Christian communities.
Yes. With us on the program is Maria Luisa J. Edwards. The book is The Love and Power of God, Missionary Experiences in the Jungles of Ecuador, book available at GothamBooksInc.com, among other places. The website for Maria is jedwards.gothambooksinc.com. You can link onto that by going to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and I'll mention that several times as we go through the conversation. How rewarding was it as you saw all of your work really providing positive results, where you divided these, trained the leaders in the community, the young women who were able to handle that and do it successfully? What was it like to see changes in the community that you were responsible for?
Well, I was amazed. I knew God was working through me, and it was not me, it was God, because I couldn't do what I was doing. And I told them I passed down on the message of God and the love of Jesus, and that what God wants us need love one another. And as communities, I had 13 communities to take care of it. So in each community, I developed a group of leaders, women leaders. And when the priest came, the men will get together, but he was not there all the time to take care of the men as much as I was with the women. So with the women, we became very group of women who were for the human rights very much, and they knew what is right for them and what they can ask and how can they behave and how can they bring up the children, how the schools had to work together. So we got to go to, we did work together with any other organization that there was in that time. So I was teaching the little ones, I was teaching the middle ones, I was teaching the teenagers, and I was teaching parents. So my life was being spent, and that's when the my health gave out, and the doctor said, "You cannot go on like this. You have to get out of here. Let somebody else do the job, and because otherwise, I definitely give you 3 months," he said, the
Wow.
most. So I told the bishop that, and I told the religious superior that, and oh, by that time, actually, I was on my own. I had gotten out of the community because they were not missionaries. So I left the community to be a missionary and to do this on my own. Well, we got help and God pushing me doing all kinds of things.
You
Now
did.
that was,
No, please finish that thought.
I cannot hear you.
Well, let me just say you did remarkable in accomplishing your work there. Let's talk a little bit about your hope for what you left behind. Your hope for the church there when you saw these young girls develop as you were able to work with them. What is your hope for the church with these young women? What do you feel you left behind? You have to be very positive about that.
Well, when I had to get out, I've been training leaders. So I knew it was not going to die when I leave. And I told them that was my message that I told them. I'm one of the messengers, and you are becoming the messenger. So I told them how important was their job. All these teenagers and young men and women, and we became a family, and they were the leaders of every community, the ones who took care of it, and we had everything, the president, the secretary, the treasurer,
Oh, yes.
the everything. It was organized, and so, and if something happened with one of them, that was the beauty of the whole thing, that to work as a base Christian community, to work together, it was amazing. You see, when one person couldn't do it because of they were ill or something, the rest of the community will go and do what they were doing because they were farmers and they needed help. And then when we went, all of us, a group of us, went to see the Pope, and so we had to ask the community, okay, who's going to stay behind to take care of the chickens and the pigs and the goats, and for those of us who are leaving. And so there were people who raised their hands who were going to do about for the neighbors, and then we will just go. So we went to Cuenca, and that was a little far. We traveled in the bus, which
Yes.
was an experience. And then we got there. I remember I was so tired, I couldn't hear the Pope too much because I was falling asleep. But I asked the Holy Spirit to take care of that and give me the message. And so then afterwards, I asked the young ones, what did he say, and so on and so forth, so I can have the message, because I was too tired, too tired.
Well, that's one of the
So,
stories in Maria's book, going to see the Pope and the bus breaking down, of course, in the middle of nowhere, and what they had to go through to get there to hear the message. Maria Luisa J. Edwards is our guest. The book is The Love and Power of God, Missionary Experiences in the Jungles of Ecuador. Book available at GothamBooksInc.com, Amazon, usual places. Maria's website is jedwards.gothambooksinc.com. You can get information on the book and order the book there as well. Maria, as you were writing this book, how did this make you feel when you were able to go back through those stories and relive those experiences? I would think that would be sort of reinvigorating, that what you went through and all of the personal sacrifice, you really did make a difference, didn't you?
well, my friends were the ones who pushed me that I should write it down, because whenever I went and they asked me what were you doing, and then I told them what was I doing, and then they said you have to write a book, and that's how I started, with no, I didn't have a mentor or anybody to help me out. I just started, took the pen and pencil, and then go on with it. And then I found the company that helped me to get the book out. They were very generous. They were the iUniverse. They were very generous. They gave me the first 20 books free, so I can give it to my family and to the some leaders that I thought it was important. And that's how my book uh, started, and went on. And then you come along. You are a blessing for everybody, because that's when I feel that the love and power of God, that you are a very important person, and here you are talking to me, interested in what I wrote about it. This is amazing. And you are getting to know all the people through me. You are getting to know them, and
Well, as you read the book, you have an understanding.
in this part of Ecuador.
You really have an understanding of what happens there and the dedication of Maria and how much impact she made in a positive way on their lives. I'm just in awe of what she's been able to accomplish and continues to accomplish, because the people she trained are now in a power over there and getting things accomplished. The Love and Power of God, Missionary Experiences in the Jungles of Ecuador by Maria Luisa J. Edwards. A couple minutes left in the program. You also talk about this. When we read your story, this should give us opportunities to be part of a miracle if you open your eyes to God's vision. What do you hope the takeaway is as people read this book? It should inspire us not necessarily to go to the jungles for 17 years, but to do something. We all can help, can't we?
Yes, the thing is that to spread, Jesus told us, that we were called to go and spread the good news. And so everybody has that responsibility in our own, like you are doing a wonderful job. Here you are getting me to speak up about all these people in the jungles, because they are in the jungle. And what is incredible is very hard to think about. However, there are communities alive. There are communities that know Jesus, they know God, and because I share with them. And the thing is that the enthusiasm that they had, it was amazing. At night, after the farmers will come, and they will bring their kids that they couldn't leave. There is no such thing as a babysitter or something. They will bring their little ones that they will fall asleep on the floor, nothing there, not even a towel, nothing to put them to sleep, but they will sleep on the floor while the adults were talking, and learning, the parents were learning, so they can continue, because my job was to train the leaders. My goal, that was what the bishop wanted, the from the mission for the mission. So the my goal was to train them that they will continue. So I will say I will not be here. Who knows? Maybe in a month, in a year, in whatever time. So you have to continue. And the beauty of it is years later, well, I had to get out because of my health. But years after, I went back and to find out that the community, those communities that I have built, they are still alive. Some of them, of course, have died, but um, the younger one version, they continue, and it was a very rewarding thing. It was a very rewarding experience to go back and listen to what they think, and that they say that I did it.
Yes, and what a legacy that Maria has left, and as a result of her 17 years working in Ecuador. Out of time, the time has gone by so quickly. The book is an excellent read. It will give you insight as she's written it, with humor, with emotion, with wisdom, real insight in what goes on in that part of the world, and how these people strive for lives, and what the missionaries do, and something Maria has always wanted to do. The name of the book is The Love and Power of God, Missionary Experiences in the Jungles of Ecuador. Our guest and the author is Maria Luisa J. Edwards. The book is available, GothamBooksInc.com, Amazon, usual places. And Maria's website is jedwards.gothambooksinc.com. All of this on our website, thisweekinamerica.us, so you'll be able to get information on her website and be able to order the book there as well. Maria, it's been a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, a life well lived, and all the work that you've done to save and turn around the lives of so many people. Thank you for sharing some of the experiences with us on the program today.
Thank you very much to you, Mr. Brandon, for allowing me to spread God's word, but you are doing a greater job to let other ones listen and hear about, but they are called too to do their part in whatever they are, in whatever they are doing.
Well,
thank you very much.
You're most welcome, and it's been a privilege to have you on the program. Maria Luisa J. Edwards. The book, The Love and Power of God, Missionary Experiences in the Jungles of Ecuador. Book available at GothamBooksInc.com, all the usual places, and information on our website, thisweekinamerica.us. And we are back on today's program right after these messages.
This Week in America is online. You can visit our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Scott Pinkerton, Associate Producer of This Week in America. Jay Anderson, Segment Producer. Ben Watson, Webmaster. Otto Bechet, Director of Engineering and TV Production. This Week in America produced and is a trademark of Blue Funk Broadcasting, LLC. For information on all of our guests and to listen to this week's show, our website again at thisweekinamerica.us. And I'm Sean Bratton, Executive Producer of This Week in America.